Today is Thursday, April the 19th. I'm playing Thoreau in Concord Jail about 5 years after I first performed it at King's Chapel, and maybe 2 years since I last performed it at the Clarendon Hill Presbyterian Church in Somerville. And today, I'm not performing it for an audience. I decided I would just sit down and play it for myself. It's a little absurd to say for myself when I have a camera running, but no audience at the time of the performance. And it was, as I might have anticipated, a Zen-like experience to just sit down and play in an empty space a 25-minute piece. I say a 25-minute piece because that's what I designed it when I was composing it. At the first performance in King's Chapel, the combination of nerves playing a piece for the first time in front of an audience in general, but in addition to that, the consciousness I had of playing an exceptionally long piece for unaccompanied clarinet for an audience, and the uncertainty of whether they would stick with me through the entire piece. That first performance was not quite 20 minutes. I rushed my own piece that first time. One of the reasons I set out to revive the piece 2 years ago was I wanted to concentrate on taking the time with the piece that I had composed into it. When I wrote it, I said it was a 25-minute piece, and I was determined to play it as a 25-minute piece for an audience. And it did and it did not work. Musically, it worked. The performance worked. I was extremely happy with it. The difficulty was that it was programmed in the middle of a Friday evening performance, so the audience had had a full work week. They were there on a Friday evening in a venue where the seats are not the most comfortable, and in the middle of a program, out of the blue, here's this 25-minute piece, and it's nobody but a clarinetist doing his thing. There was something of a mixed reaction among the audience. But that's all explainable in terms other than musical. As I said, I found the performance perfectly to the composer's liking. It's been a while. I wanted to play it again. And the curious thing about today is, because I've lived with the piece for some 5 years, even though I haven't actively thought about or worked with it, today I was very relaxed with the piece. Not only did I not rush it and make it a 19-minute piece as I had 5 years ago, but the performance was not to be constrained with my original 25-minute design either. So I took my time here and there, and the performance runs to almost half an hour. And I'm speaking to the camera now before I've had a chance to review and evaluate whether it works as a 30-minute piece. In principle, I'm confident that it may, because I know of ever so many pieces in the literature which are interpreted in various ways, some of them winding up quicker, some of them winding up slower, but many of them, whether quick or slow, perfectly successful in musical terms, even though it's the same piece done in somewhat different ways. So here, although I've not listened, well, I listened while I was playing it on hopes, and I thought I was making it work. I'll listen myself later, and perhaps I'll have to add an exculpatory footnote in a subsequent video.